what I'm going to talk about really is the approach that Britannic takes. So systems integrators, you've already heard from some of our partners. There's another presentation to come, and there's other technology partners that we work with as well. And really it's there to be able to deliver a full solution for customers, so helping to review the end-to-end requirements, but also to integrate with existing supply chain and technology environments as well, because we're certainly not of the opinion that we're trying to force everything down to a customer, that you have to buy everything from us. We're a business that has operated since 1984, so long-standing organisation that we work in partnerships with customers and very used to fitting in within existing technology landscapes and environments. So the piece I'm going to look at is what's our approach, what are we doing, how are we adding value, and then I'll pick up on 3 deployments, so what we've done for some customers. And we talked about on-premise, we talked about cloud, we talked about integration with existing PBXs, so I've got thankfully one each of those to talk through as to how we've approached it with people, and really just also give you our view of where things are going and what we're doing as a technology company to help support these changes in the marketplace and help our customers. So that's nearly the time up with the introduction, right? So Britannic, established in '84, we are the systems integrator and managed service provider. So we started life off back in the day of providing telephone systems, and so we've got a lot of experience around voice and real-time communications, and we're seeing more and more demand for real-time communications across not just the traditional telephony platform or Skype for business, but also integrating with web systems and mobile apps as well. So into the future, technologies such as WebRTC, which I'll touch on shortly as well. So we understand how to deliver real-time communication, we understand how to support it, we understand how to monitor and manage it, and ultimately we've aligned our capabilities as a business and our contracts and our service levels that we deliver to work to 5 nines SLAs and uptimes, because we understand the importance of real-time communications. We do have a very comprehensive partner ecosystem, so a number of them are displayed across the bottom of the slide, but it does enable us to work across a whole range of technologies and solutions, from the plumbing, the networks, the local area networks, wide area networks, Wi-Fi technology, which is critical today, security, hosting, software applications, contact center, and then also the integration between these different worlds of joining those services together as well. We do have an end-to-end capability. I'll pick up on that throughout this presentation. And we have a history of innovation and development. So one of the first developments we undertook was for the BBC. It was Radio 1 Breakfast Show. They contacted us. They wanted a phone-in application. Such a thing didn't exist. So we scratched our heads, we designed something, we built it, we provided it, and it was rolled out to over 100 radio stations across both BBC and independent radio. And that really, that was back in, I think it was '86, that was really the focus and the start point of working with customers to deliver solutions. Yes, of course we sell other people's technology, we're very good at implementing it, we're very good at supporting it, we're very good at integrating with it, but we're also very good with our own in-house capability and development resource, and actually creating technology and creating solutions ourselves as well. So I'll pick up on a few of the things that we're working on that add value, and I'll talk a little bit about where we see the future and where we're investing in our development resource as well. So the world is changing. We know this because Robert told us. So not only is the technology changing, but market expectations are changing. The millennials. I think it is anyone who's born after 84 or 86. So so I definitely missed the cut-off, unfortunately. We seeing greater demand for cloud. Back in 2009, 2010, there was a change, right, in the world around the financial position. So global recession. A lot of organisations were looking at what they're doing. They were looking to try and deleverage. They were trying to look at how they could cut costs. They were looking at cloud as a way forward for supporting flexibility and agility. And at the same time, with all this technology changes that were going on, there was we started to see the emergence of cloud and virtualization and data centers. So the IT world had gone that way, and we were seeing the opportunity of the telephony world to go that way too. So we thought, okay, you know what, here's a great opportunity to go and innovate, go and do something different. So we built out a strategy of cloud enabling real-time communications and technology from a lot of the world leaders. We invested in it. We moved these solutions into a cloud environment. We reworked our contracts. We introduced these new service level contracts, and we allowed customers to procure what was world-leading technology on a cloud model, on a cost per user per month basis. And it wasn't a case of just buying a software solution that was available, because there are a lot of cloud software solutions that are available, but the functionality wasn't necessarily as strong as the on-premise technology people were used to. So we could see where Microsoft were going, we could see the growth and an opportunity there. So not only did we do it with some of our traditional partners like the Mitels and the Avayas and of course Redbox, we also built out a capability and an environment where we were able to start testing, working with customers, using the technology ourselves, and then deploying Microsoft Lync and then Skype for Business from a cloud environment, and delivering all these integrations people needed. So the opportunity for a growth of managed service, helping to take away the complexity of these deployments, because we've heard about the architecture. There's different servers that are required. It can be quite complex when you're looking at adding voice around the networking requirements. Is the local area network configured sufficiently to support voice? What about Wi-Fi requirements? What about inter-site routing? So there's quite a few considerations that need to be made. So again, we really invested the time, focus, money, built the teams and the resource so that we were supporting our customers into this move into where they needed to go. So it was very much a cloud environment. The concept of taking these technologies and services and moving them up into data centers. So we have our own data center environment. So we're able to provide active control and resilience and failover, which helps us support those 5 nines uptime guarantees for customers. But because of it, because we built this environment and we have those skill sets, we're also able to help customers look at if they're going to host in alternative data centers, what's required, what's the best practice, how do you do it, how do you connect. If it's a VMware deployment, a virtual deployment, how do you go about doing that, and what are the resource requirements, what's best practice. So again, all of those skills that we built in is really helping us to be able to support the change of deployment methods that we're seeing today. With it came the opportunity of starting to look at a number of applications that join things together as well. So SIP is one of those things that you'll hear about. Who uses SIP as a routing method today? Yeah. Okay, so BT announced not too long ago that the ISDN, PSTN network was being retired, and all the calls will be routed into the future over SIP. All of the manufacturers, the service providers, that was a strategy a number of years ago. And again, we saw the opportunity a long time ago, right? We came to market in 2004 with a SIP trunking offering. So we were able to support customers who wanted to migrate away from ISDN at that point, who wanted to achieve cost saving and business continuity, who wanted that flex ability as well. So all of those skills that we've had for a long time, it was really migrating it into these cloud environments. So we've got connectors, we've got gateways that enable us to deliver and have been delivering SIP for many, many years, including into Link and Skype for Business environments. We heard about if somebody is not using a screen for recording to trigger PCI, they might want to be on a telephone call and have a customer punch the numbers in and actually mask those out on the recording. So we've actually developed a PCI, cloud PCI solution ourselves that is an over-the-top application over the SIP trunking service we deliver. So again, we're able to create the links between the merchants and help manage all the payments and take it out of scope for customers. So all the time trying to look at how we add value, how we support these different needs that we're seeing in the market. This is an important part as well, CTI middleware platform, NetConnect. So we've been providing CTI for 17, 18 years now. So CTI is the glue that links telephone systems and software applications together. Yeah. So common things, the screen pop, call comes in, recognized, database lookup, pops the details, you click a button and it makes a call out through a database. So some of the functionality that including you've seen within the Skype for Business technology. But we're able to deliver this into other line of business applications as well. So currently it's 60 different software applications and we have a developers toolkit. So again, we're able to join things up. One of the things government used to talk about many years ago was joined up working and single citizen view. All these things are possible. The technology exists, but
it's still talking about
that for sure they do, right? Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And we work with a lot of housing associations, and the majority of the housing management software that's sold in the market today, the software vendors now use our middleware technology to deliver CT integration to their customers. So this isn't just integrating into Skype for Business or the Mitels or the Avayas. This technology integrates with over 65 different phone system applications. So it is actually a framework that could deliver the whole joined up working across the mixed estates and mixed software application world as well. And why is it important when we talk about Skype for Business? Well, we see a lot of people, and we saw the same at UC Expo, a lot of interest in Skype for Business. People see it's a game changer in how people communicate, but actually they've got these legacy environments over here. They've got this investment they've made. They've got the phones on the desk, and we had a lot of people who wanted to talk about how can we join up our existing world with Skype for Business, and that technology, that layer, enables us to do it, to deliver the connection between existing phone systems, software applications, and Skype for Business. So from our perspective, we've got a service layer. We continue to build out technologies and offerings that customers can consume, hosted, if they want to procure at a cost per user per month, or if we're hosting the licensing that is of the ownership of the customer, we're able to deliver that. Very solid infrastructure layer, and it's not just a case of our core data center environment. We've got connectivity into over 100 data centers throughout the UK, over 1,000 internationally through our partners, and we're able to join networks and data centers together and then deliver the monitoring, reporting, and security across those layers. And then we have a whole range of different carriers we work with. so we can actually start to understand bandwidth requirements, what's available, build out the costing models, manage it end to end, and deliver the whole network piece for people. Okay, so what are we doing around Skype for Business? So clearly, we're helping people deploy it, we're helping people embrace it. We've built a practice within our business with some very capable developers and technology resource to be able to help go in and audit existing environments, design, build, deliver, host, integrate with. And again, this is one of the messages that was coming back to me at the show the last couple of days, is that people want to deploy the technology, but how do they go about doing it for an enterprise environment? How do they do it across multiple sites? What's required from a networking perspective to go and achieve it? What bandwidth? What are the rules and configuration around the server setup? So out of the event that we attended this week, there's a number of people that just need some consultancy, need some help to actually work out what they're doing, where they're going, and how they get the most out of this technology. So from our perspective, we have a range of endpoints. So we've heard from Jabra, we're going to hear from Polycom. We can also deliver attendant consoles. So whilst the Skype for Business client can give us presence and availability, there is still also the different types of users across a business that would like an attendant console, a physical phone on the desk. So again, we can integrate that. Call recording, you've heard about, PCI solutions, integration with existing phone systems, SIP routing, billing, cost center management, the whole networking piece, cloud and hosting, and interconnects into Microsoft environments. So again, we're very flexible about the deployment methods that we can take with customers. Audit, monitoring and reporting. So this was really useful for one of the implementations that we undertook recently, which I'll talk about shortly, which helped us pinpoint a problem on the network, which we hadn't supported, which was actually causing a problem with the user experience of Skype for Business. So the network provider denying any knowledge, the customer caught in the middle of, we want this technology to work, we want to roll it out, but the user experience isn't good. There was question marks around whether the technology was the right choice for the business. So this reporting, the audit process and the reporting tools we've got, helps us identify best practice and where problems are as well. So we've got data and facts to be able to go and have those conversations. And actually what the customer did then is they replaced their MPLS network and have carried on with the rollout, very happy with the technology. Contact center. So again, as a business, we've worked in the contact center space for many, many years. We've got in excess of 200 contact centers that we support, both UK and internationally now. We've got customers across 22 countries worldwide. We support, I think the biggest contact center is about 1,500 agents, and the smallest is probably an informal 5 agents. So huge amount of experience of integrating, bringing the technology together, supporting the whole omni-channel experience that people are looking at today. And again, we've got options to be able to deliver contact center as an overlay into Skype for Business. I talked about the integration with the business applications, the CRM and CTI, and this is the latest thing that we're seeing at the bottom, WebRTC, which is a demand from customers in the marketplace to actually have integration with websites and mobile applications, where a consumer can click a button and be straight into a call with a person or with a contact center agent or a queue, and actually present what the person's looking at as they're making the call, and then being able to move from call through collaboration session through to video. So again, we've got some developments that we've worked on there. And ultimately what's going to happen is all these technology vendors and offerings will be converging into the future. But the point to make here is that if you need technology today and it may not be available and you need to integrate a different offering in, we've got a lot of experience of doing that. So choice of delivery methods. So the first one, a cloud, a software as a service with FB in between. So we've delivered Skype deployments where it is a service provider model, so it's a cost per user per month basis with flex capability, so the number of users can increase one month and decrease the other. All of that's then hosted in our data center environment, in our cloud. We can host existing licensing that customers have, and then we can deliver the infrastructure, the support, the SIP trunking. We can integrate with, help people set up on-premise and integrate with Microsoft Cloud and Office 365. And we can also then provide this hybrid approach of integrating with existing PBX infrastructure as well. Delivering remote call control and presence across a whole range of different telephony platforms. So actually helping people to move in the direction in which they want to go. And again, remembering that a lot of organizations that have invested in CRM and line of business applications, and certainly this is the case in the banking world as well, where big investments made there, the integration is important, but actually it's a big upheaval to move over to a new platform. So I was talking to one of the Microsoft guys a while back about the integration capability we've got, and actually it being seen as a path, as an enabler to help people move to Skype for Business, because they can do it in a manageable way without having to break the underlying integration that's been paid for, which is critical to the operation of the business. So where do we see the future? So we've heard about Simon's nephew using his phone to chat and IM and all the things, and we see this where we've got personally I've got a WhatsApp group for the family, so we get these WhatsApp messages pop up all the time. The world is more social. There's more communication channels that people use today. You might have a communication channel for certain work groups that you're in, and the mix between private and business. And we're actually seeing all these things converge into the business world. So there's a lot of benefit that can be achieved from a lot of this consumer tech, but it's about how do you actually join it together and how do you manage it. We're definitely seeing greater demand for flexible working, and the idea of the coffee shop working and the touchdown points. I absolutely echo the sentiment about work is what I do and not where I go. And again, the technology is there to support it. And to me, I think a lot of the challenges we face is about how do people understand and embrace the technology. So helping to give these use cases and actually lead people through it and get the evangelists of the technology makes a big difference. We're seeing more use of the cloud, and I think that will continue as we move forward. And then this last bit that we started to touch upon today, which is more and more data. With the data, big data is talked about a lot. There's a lot of big data tools. So there's information, and it's actually about how do you take that information, how do you use the context in which that information is provided, and how do you communicate, or how do you automate certain processes as well. So this is something that I talked about before back at our annual summit, which is I see the introduction of this new concept, UC 2.0. So we had it with web and web 2.0, which was more about social interaction and actually enabling consumers to be part of the web experience and share content, and the web service is more open and a lot more interaction. And I think we're going to see the same with UC as well. There'll be more interaction. It'll be the blending of different environments. You're going to put users in more control, and it will definitely be about how you extend communication and control, not just within your own parameters, with your own business, a peer-to-peer environment, but also the wider piece as well, with customers, with suppliers, with consumers, and the personal life. So actually moving to an environment where we've got technology environments that enable us to move through different channels and move through different user groups as well. So the world, I agree with you, Robert, is definitely changing. And I think key to the success is great technology. So we've heard about some great technology already. We're going to hear about a little bit more great technology shortly. It is also about engaged people. It's engaged people from a user group perspective. We do a lot where we're working with customers for discovery sessions and workshops and pilots, and helping to look at use cases and templates and make the technology available so people can really get to grips with it and understand how it's going to make a tangible difference. Because I'm very much also a believer that if you deliver technology to someone and don't actually help them understand what's in it for them and how it's going to help them, the adoption is going to be poor. So where you get the evangelists and they like it, they experience it, and they want to go and tell their colleagues, that's the environment you want to work to. And I think engaged people is beyond just within the business, it's also within the partner community that you work with as well. You want a partner, hopefully Britannic, that has got an interest, wants to work with you and help to drive change and improvement through your businesses, through your environment with technology. An effective plan is critical. So as we go through change, we need to understand impact of change, how we deliver it, how we manage this migration and this phasing. It's really an evolution from project management into program management. So it's a series of steps that we have to go through. I think agility, we hear about agile project management processes and agile development. The infrastructure needs to be agile. It's not just about the scale up and scale down principles, it's also about interconnecting different offerings as well. So we talk about cloud, the world is going to get very cloudy. There's going to be lots of connections between different cloud environments. So it might be I consume a service from Microsoft over here, from Office 365, but I might also want to consume a service from Amazon. I might want to consume a service from Britannic as an example. And it's about how we blend those different worlds together, how we manage it, and how we do it in a secure way as well. So integration is going to be really important for this as well. And I think the process of incremental change, not every person is so responsive to big bang change, certainly from a user perspective. So it's about how do we move forward, how do we progress, and how can we also embrace new technologies and options that come to the fore as well. So very quickly, things we're doing, we've upgraded our core network to support much higher throughput and bandwidth for customers, and much higher scaling. So we're using state-of-the-art fiber optic switching equipment at the core. It's got a shelf life up to 2029, so big investment, and it's really there to scale and manage developments for customers. A lot more APIs, so we've worked in this world for a long time, be more and more as we move forward. The idea is to create a toolkit, an environment that customers can integrate their processes and workflows into as well. Maybe pick a certain API to build into their process, and same with partners. Looking at how we continue to scale and improve the technology we offer to market, and then support a number of the initiatives around big data as well. So if we're getting all this information, all these things are happening, then actually what can we learn from it and how can we act accordingly. And then that piece of actually bridging the gap between cloud and networking and end users and experience, again, are, important things to us. I'll skip on that one, other than to say we've invested a lot in the core. This bit, we're going to be exposing direct controls to customers of technology as well. So using software-defined networking capability. I talked about the integration into different public and private clouds, so the idea of a hybrid environment to consume different services and join them together. This is our SIP piece, so 5 nines SLA. We've been delivering SIP, as I said, since 2004. And we continue to drive improvements. So these are some of the latest things we're rolling out over the next couple of months. So the analytics engine, big data access via web services to customers, native support for WebRTC, which analysts are projecting a market of $4.7 billion by 2020. So that is definitely going to be an important consideration about how you can integrate that. This is really just to talk through the SDN controls and layers. So PCI compliant end-to-end, been able to build, set up, configure, manage infrastructure yourselves as well, so more elastic controls, and then being able to, as I said, plug it into different systems and processes that customers have. Lots of things we do to help customers, so help to look at the technology, the operations, the user community, audit environments, look at a plan to not just design and deliver this technology, but how it's going to be supported, how it's going to scale, what other applications are needed. As part of it, for sure, because of the depth and breadth of capability, we're looking at where we can also help to consolidate supply chain, make the experience easier, the management easier, deliver cost saving, and ultimately build a plan. And part of it is the buy-in, the user requirements, and actually how you help to get people on board and manage the change. So a few example deployments finally. So this was a service provider model. So Menzies Chartered Accountants, they came to see us. They had a mixed telephony estate, old infrastructure. They were looking at which route do we go. They were presented with an opportunity where they would, all the contracts had kind of come to an end point. They were moving office, and they really wanted to use it as a showcase for the latest technology and demonstrate that they're a progressive organisation. They wanted the flexibility. 360 users across eight offices. So we worked with them, we designed a way forward for them. As I said, we used the networking tool to help identify problems in their network. Actually, throughout this deployment, they then went and acquired another business, so we then folded that in. And we did it on a flex model. So the commercials, the hosting, all of this was managed by us. And it was very easy to go and scale up as they're required. We delivered voicemail using their existing exchange. We used the response groups to deliver some ACD routing, and we used Jabra headsets, you'll be pleased to hear, and Britannic SIP trunks. So that's one of the solutions we've designed and delivered, but it's very much a hands-on approach of the account manager, the project manager, the technical architect working with the customer to actually hands-on move this forward. Another one, RCNI Publishing, Royal College of Nursing Publishing. This was 120 users. They wanted to replace the existing phone system they had. We actually linked to our core via Amazon interconnects. Voicemail was deployed using Office 365. So again, a different type of environment. We hosted their licenses in our data center, so it wasn't they were having to buy licenses from us. They'd already had licenses they could reuse, and then we were able to deliver what they needed, connect up to SIP and move the organisation forward. And then the last one I'll pick up on is TLT Solicitors. So we started talking to them when there were 750 people in the organisation. They're now 1250. We helped to deploy a cloud telephony platform. We also helped to deploy a contact centre solution. They wanted to use Skype for Business from a IM and presence and collaboration perspective, but they wanted to use a different telephony infrastructure for the core telephony. So we designed, we built, we hosted, and we integrated those two different worlds together. And we also did it through a managed service model. And as I've mentioned Jabra, I should also mention Redbox, including a Redbox recorder. And as part of it, we had to meet some very stringent security requirements, as you'd expect from the nature of their business. And we're ISO 27001 as an organisation. We've gone through it. We were able to demonstrate this back to them and allay the concerns they had. And also, just to bear in mind, another one of our customers is BAE Systems. So when it comes to security, they're incredibly stringent. So those are some of the things that I think people should really be looking at with a provider: is security, flexibility of different deployment models, experience of telephony, the wide range of applications, and how it's actually integrated. Great technology, but it's important to work with a partner that can help you get there.
When did you do that?
Sorry?
When did you do that for TLT?
When did we do it for TLT? We put the initial cloud phone system in and recorder around about 3 years ago. The Skype for Business integration would have been within the last 12 to 15 months. Also, part of what we did is we helped them with the setup of Skype for Business. We helped build a pilot environment that they were able to take and go around the offices and use it as a showcase. So that was important. It was a roadshow concept, so that they could actually go through the user community, get people on board, see what was coming. Because it's a great opportunity to spin a positive message back out into the staff. So we created that environment that they were able to show it and move people along. Okay. I'm conscious of the time, so we can help. There's lots of reasons we can help. Hopefully I've convinced you already we can help. I firmly believe we are a safe pair of hands. We'll be able to support you through the changes that you want to go through. We're very experienced at supporting existing environments, but managing change. We've got a lot of experience around telephony and real-time communication, which can't be overlooked when it comes to deploying Skype for Business, and all underpinned with 5 nines SLAs and end-to-end monitoring across the whole solution. So if there's a problem, we see it, we're aware, we fix, and we can advise around development and capacity planning.